Yeehaw, soldiers! It's your boy, the Anime Sage, coming to another video, and this is another reading of the Fanfic Legacy, chapters 17 through 19. This will be the second to last fanfic reading I'll do before I do the first Legacy movie, because again, as I explained in the last video, I do not want to go over like how many chapters of this fanfic and combine them all into one video. I don't think my PC can handle it, so I'm gonna again split the movie up into parts, which means that you guys are going to get a lot more content than I could have even imagined when it came to this series. And again, I do support you guys for supporting this series. It really does mean a lot to me, and I do love this fanfic a lot, so thank you. And yeah, moving on from Legacy, make sure you stay tuned for whenever What If Goku Was in Naruto comes out, and I'll have a special guest on there. Make sure you tune in whenever I do my DBZ and MHA fanfic readings, and also stay tuned for whatever else I have, because I do have some other projects on the way. So get ready for those whenever they come out. And yeah, now let's move on to some of the usual stuff. Make sure you watch my community tab like a hawk. Follow me on Twitter at MaStage4, Instagram is MA_Stage4, and join me in the Discord server, just linked down in the description. I will give you out rations to fall / join us at the end of the video, so watch until the end. If you want to support me by giving me some money and you get some rewards from that, join me on Patreon. The minimum amount that is required to support me is $1, though as you go through some of the higher tiers, you get more rewards the more you pay. But if you want to support me in any way possible, just join my Patreon and send me some money per month. And to end off the usual checklist, if you haven't seen the reading of chapters 14 through 16, I'll link that down in the description. And if you haven't seen this series at all, I will suggest that you check out the playlist. And with all the way, let's get right into chapter 17, Calm Before the Storm. 1 week had passed since the end of the second phase of tuning exams, and everyone was busy training or gathering information on the adversaries. Naruto was trained with his godfather Jiraiya. The man was a pervert, but Naruto had to admit the man was strong and keen. Naruto didn't have much to prepare against his opponent Sasuke. He went to the academy with him, and like most Uchiha, Sasuke favored fire jutsus and relied on his Sharingan. Hinata was trained with Kurenai. Naruto didn't know much of what she was doing, and for good reason. After all, she will most likely end up facing him in the finals, so she should have a few surprises in store for her blonde. If you look carefully, you would notice that both Naruto and Hinata were facing clan members, so to speak. Naruto was facing Sasuke, and both were Sharingan wielders, and Hinata was facing her cousin Neji, and both were Byakugan users. Naruto remembered from the preliminaries all the details of the fight. A perk of the Sharingan is that it grants the user photographic memory. That's the reason why a Sharingan is able to copy jutsus. Neji and Hinata were mainly taijutsu users, with Hinata being a very good Suiton user. Fu was a bug and Suiton user, but also did not be Jinchuriki. Yuta was a fire user and very flexible at taijutsu, and also did not be Jinchuriki. Tamari was a long-range wind user, so her taijutsu should be low. Shikamaru was a Shao user, and like Tamari was long-range type, so his taijutsu should be his weak point. Conqueror was unknown since he didn't fight, and finally there was Gaara, the Sand user, and an Ichibi Jinchuriki. Naruto and Hinata. Naruto and Hinata were lying on the couch with Hinata wrapped in Naruto's arms with her back to his chest. They were relaxing after a long day of training. "How did training go?" Naruto asked as he caressed her hair gently. "Good. I asked Asuma Sensei for some training on daggers and trench knife taijutsu," Hinata replied. "Daggers, huh? They suit you, beautiful and deadly," Naruto said. She turned around to face him and lightly kissed him and placed her hand on his chest. "Flattery will get you nowhere," she said, and he chuckled. "Oh, come on. You know it's true. You are beautiful," he said, and she slightly blushed. "By the way, I need some pointers on light manipulation," she said. "Did you do the leaf exercise by making it crumble?" Naruto asked, and she nodded. "Now you need to be able to channel big amounts of Retitled chakra. You can do the same with a couple of rocks. Since it's harder to channel chakra for them, you need to increase the output amount until the rock breaks," he explained, and she nodded. "And how did your training with the pervert go?" Hinata asked, and he laughed. Naruto told her about his godfather and how he was writer of the Ichi books that Kakashi liked so much. As well as they can when you have an idiot of a godfather who is constantly distracted with his research, Naruto said, sighing. "He taught me a few Katon jutsus. It's the only nature we share," Naruto explained. Hinata snuggled deeper into Naruto's chest. She was always amazed at the warmth he provided, and she always felt safe in his presence. They rested for a few minutes until Naruto remembered something he talked about with Jiraiya. "Hey Hime," Naruto asked, and she hummed in response. "Did you know that your mother was my godmother?" he asked. "Really?" Hinata asked as she raised her head and locked eyes with him. According to Arasani, your parents were my parents' best friends. Go figure, he said, chuckling. I wonder what my father ever saw in Hiyashi, Naruto mused. You know, I think my father was never that bad, Hinata said, softly, making Naruto raise an eyebrow. I was 3 years old, but I seem to remember him being kind to me. After my mother died, he turned cold and the elders didn't help. Then I was kidnapped, and the result of my abduction forced Nechi's father to be killed and delivered to Kumo as payment. I think he blames me for that. If I had been stronger, I wouldn't have been kidnapped, she explained. It was my fault. If I had been stronger, Hinata said, tearing up. Naruto lifted her up and cleaned her tears with his hands. He hugged her and she snuggled into his chest. It wasn't your fault. You were 6 years old. No one could have expected you to defend yourself against a Jonin, Naruto explained, easing her worries. But you managed to kill him, she replied in a weak voice, ready to break. That was luck, plain and simple. I had my Sharingan and Kurama. Without both of those, I would have been killed instantly. I think he didn't kill me because he wanted my bloodline too, Naruto whispered to her, and she slowly nodded. He continued hugging her for a few minutes, and he felt her tension slowly ease up. Hinata meant the world to him. People like Naruto, Jinchurikis, no matter where they live, they grow in a world of pain, of suffering, and hate. Living in an environment like this is never good, much less when you are a child growing up. To people like Naruto, they are rarely showed any kindness or love, and it makes them very protective of that person since they gave them something they never had. This is the case of Naruto. Hinata was the first person to truly love him deeply and unconditionally, so he is very protective of her and would do anything to keep her happy and safe. Feeling better, Naruto asked while he cleaned her dried tears. She nodded and snuggled closer to him. She always found comfort and safety in him. Suddenly there was a puff of smoke in the middle of the room where they were. After smoke cleared, it revealed to be a fox. Hey there, Kyofu, Naruto said. Flashback. Forest of Death. Teammate just entered the gates of the Forest of Death, getting ready to ace the exam. Guys, wait up, I want to do something, Naruto said and flashed through hand seals. Summoning Jutsu, Naruto said, and Kyofu appeared. What do you need? Kyofu asked. I need you to spy on Kabuto. Something about him isn't right. His chakra levels are close to Jonin, and yet he flunked 6 times. Here, Naruto said and showed him a chakra card he secretly stole from Kabuto's deck. Smell it and you will be able to find him, Naruto said. I have it. I'll be going, Kyofu said, and Naruto nodded. End flashback. So, what did you find out? Naruto asked. That Kabuto guy is working for Orochimaru. I found them talking to Force of Death, Kyofu said.
I told you he smelled snakes,
Kurama yelled, and Naruto mentally yelled. Figures. Kurama said he smelled like snakes, Naruto said, sighing. He would inform the Hokage later. Anything else, he asked? Yes. I also heard Kabuto talking to the Sanjoin about some invasion during finals, Kyofu said, and Naruto nodded. A few seconds later, Naruto shot out of the couch and yelled, What? Keep it down, Kyofu said, while nursing his sensitive ears. Are you sure you heard that right? Naruto asked very seriously. Yeah, I'm sure, Kyofu said. What time is it? Naruto asked in a worry. It's 7 p.m. Why? Hinata asked, confused. The old man should still be in his office. We have to warn him, Naruto said, and Hinata nodded. They both picked up their jackets, and Kyofu jumped on Naruto's shoulder as they left the apartment and headed towards the Hokage's tower. Hokage's tower. The Hokage was in his office doing what he does best. Paperwork. After Naruto told him the Kage Bunshin trick, the old man's life improved very much. Now he could take pleasure in what he liked to do, which was drinking tea, smoking his pipe, and reading his Icha books and walking through the village. Suddenly, the door was busted open so fast even the hidden Anbu jumped in front of the Hokage to protect him from the threat. For Kami's sake, stand down, it's only Naruto-kun, the Hokage said, and the Anbu retreated with shame as they jumped into action without assessing the threat. Naruto, is there a reason to why you entered my office like that? The Hokage asked. Actually, there is. The Saiyan is going to invade during the finals, Naruto quickly said. What? The Hokage asked, thinking he misheard Naruto. I said that the Saiyan village will invade ours during Chunin Exam's finals, Naruto said in a calmer tone. What makes you think that? The Hokage asked with his full attention towards Naruto. This is Kyofu, Naruto said, pointing towards the fox on his shoulders. He's a spy fox. During the second round, I summoned him to spy on Yakushi Kabuto because he had dream-level chakra reserves and yet claimed to have failed the exam 6 times. Kyofu found him talking to Orochimaru and yesterday found him talking to the Sanjonin regarding the invasion that they were planning, Naruto explained, and Kyofu nodded. Are you sure, Kyofu? The Hokage asked in a serious tone. Yes, Hokage-sama, the fox replied. Inu, the Hokage said, and in front of him appeared an Anbu with the dog mask. Summon Shikaku and Jiraiya, the Hokage said. "Hi," the Anbu said and vanished. "Now that you know, I'll be going, old man," Naruto said and waved him off. "No, Naruto, you and Hinata stay here. We may need to know anything else that Kyofu knows, and you deserve to hear this since you discovered it," the Hokage said, and they both nodded. Not even 15 minutes later, everyone was assembled in the Hokage's office. Jiraiya, Shikaku, Naruto, and also Hinata. "Welcome, and sorry for calling you this quickly, but the situation may be dire," the Hokage started. "Naruto claims the same village will be invaded during this exam's finals," Hokage said, and everyone stared with their eyes open at Naruto, who was feeling a bit insecure. "That's a bold claim, Naruto-san, even more since the same village is our ally. What is your proof?" Shikaku asked, and Naruto explained his doubt of Kabuto and his talk of Orochimaru and Baki to Sand Jonin. "Actually, it is plausible," Jiraiya said. "According to my spy network, the Wind Daimyo has been giving more missions to our country, which will, without a doubt, cripple the Sand Village. And if they're desperate enough, they might try an invasion," Jiraiya concluded. "What's the background on Kabuto?" Jiraiya asked. "He's the adopted son of our chief medic. He was found in an empty battleground a few years ago, and chief medic adopted him," the Hokage said. "Should I capture him for interrogation?" Jiraiya asked. "No, if he's found missing, they might invade straight away without giving us time to prepare," the Hokage explained, and noticed that Naruto wanted to say something, but he found himself a little insecure. After all, this was almost a war meeting. "Anything you want to say, Naruto-kun?" the Hokage asked, and he nodded before beginning. "Remember when I brought Rokusho Aoi?" Naruto asked, and the Hokage nodded. "Well, before I trapped him in the scroll, I interrogated him, and he said he belonged to the Sand Village, and his Kage was Orochimaru. So isn't it possible that Sound and Sand Village formed an alliance to attack us?" Naruto asked, dropping an idea out loud. "It's true. I've heard of a new village formed a few months ago, and besides, you had Sound Gang competing," Jiraiya explained. "Also, it's very strange to bring the each speech in Turkey to participate in the tuning exams when he's clearly mentally unstable, unless you are intending to release Shikaku in the middle of the village," Naruto said. "Naruto is right. I've heard rumors of the Sand Brat. He's as unstable as it gets. It wouldn't take much for him to crack," Jiraiya said. "So everyone agrees that they will most likely invade," the Hokage asked, and everyone nodded. "Well then, let's plan for it. I'll recall immediately most of our shinobi that are on missions," the Hokage said. "What about our evacuation routes and shelters?" the Hokage asked. "They are always prepared, but we will stock some supplies just to make sure. Also, we can't evacuate too early, otherwise they might suspect. Our best choice is a surprise counterattack once they start the invasion," Shikaku explained. "They will focus on the most important objectives, like the academy, hospital, IT department, and the Anbu station," Shikaku continued, but then was interrupted by Naruto. "I have a suggestion," Naruto started. "I found a couple of barrier seals in my house that might serve our purpose. They can create a barrier dome around a building, protecting it from damage. Also, people inside can leave freely, however, for someone to enter, someone inside must open the barrier," Naruto explained. "Barrier seals?" Jiraiya asked. "Yes, they belong to Uzumaki clan. I studied them, and a tuning can power the shield for a day. Their strength is directly related to the chakra that is powering them, so a tuning can create a barrier that will hold anything below S-rank techniques," Naruto explained, and everyone had their jaw on the ground. The Whirlpool Village was the home of the Uzumaki clan, the most renowned Funjutsu users in the world. It took the combined effort of 3 villages to bring down a single clan. "Looks like there is more than meets the eye with Naruto here," troublesome blonde Shikaku said. "Very well. Jiraiya, I want you and Naruto to prepare the seals around our major buildings during these weeks. Be discreet," the Hokage explained, and both nodded. "Now the evacuation plans are set, what about the Shikaku?" the Hokage explained. "I can take care of him," Naruto said, and everyone just turned to stare at him. "Come again?" the Hokage asked. "During the finals, we will face in combat. I'll defeat Sasuke, no doubt about it. Gaara will definitely win against his brother. During the second round, we will face each other, and I can seal Shikaku tight enough so he won't be a problem," Naruto explained. "That is a very serious claim you are making, Naruto. Are you sure you can do it?" the Hokage asked. He had no doubt that Naruto was strong and skilled, but to take on a Bijou, that was a totally different matter. "Absolutely," Naruto said, and stared at everyone in the room with his EMS glowing in its full power, and gave shivers to everyone in the room. They could feel the power behind those eyes, the true power of the Sharingan, the power of Uchiha Madara. "Troublesome blonde," Shikaku muttered. He would have asked, but it would be too troublesome to know. "Since when do you have a Mangekyo?" Jiraiya asked, completely shocked with his godchild. He knew very well the powers behind eyes like those. I have had it since I became a genin, but I'll tell you later, Naruto said. That is a very high risk you are taking, the Hokage said, and fought for a moment. I'll trust you, but I will have Jiraiya on standby if necessary, the Hokage explained, and Naruto nodded. Don't worry, old man. Have I ever let you down, Naruto asked. No, but don't forget, this is a beach, the Hokage said. So, mine has 8 more tails, Naruto said, smirking. Very well. The early arrangements are prepared. Summon the rest of the clan heads to inform them and be discreet. Always, the Hokage said, and Naruto and Hinata left the room. It was an interesting night. Kumagakure, Raikage's office. The Raikage was in his office trying his best against the #1 Kage enemy, paperwork. He is a tall, dark-skinned man with a large muscular build with his white hair combed back, a small mustache, and a beard. His face is very distinguished with pronounced cheekbones and tear-furrows under his eyes, and a prominent crease across his forehead. He has pointed canines, and his top lip also has a darker hue than the bottom one. The Raikage was called A, and he was the son of the 3rd Raikage who was demoted after the Hyuga affair. Curse you, father, for leaving this paperwork nightmare for me, A cursed and fought as he signed another mission report when suddenly there was a knock on the door. Enter, the Raikage said. The door opened and a woman entered his office. Mabui was a dark-skinned woman with green eyes. She wore very formal attire consisting of a long-sleeved, high-collared dress, shirt, and skirt, along with a pair of long earrings and sandals. She wore her light gray hair pulled back in a bun with 2 bangs that fall on either side of her face. Mabui was the Raikage's assistant in dealing with paperwork. Raikage-sama, it appears that Yukito-san has made the finals during Konoha's tuning exams, Mabui explained. Excellent. Please send a letter informing the Hokage that I will attend the finals, Raikage said. Yes, Raikage-sama, Mabui replied. Darui, see, the Raikage called out, and in front of him dropped 2 shinobis. C is a young man with short blonde hair and dark eyes. He wears a sleeveless black shirt with a 1 strap over one shoulder, white flak jacket, 4 protector, characteristic black elbow-length arm guards, and the red and white Kumagakure shin guards, along with a pair of sandals. Darui is a fairly tall, dark-skinned man with a slightly bulbous nose, a lazy look in his eyes, and shaggy, white hair which covers his left eye. He wears a high-collar, sleeveless uniform with loose-fitting pants, bandages on his wrists, and the 1 strap over one shoulder flak jacket of a Kumagakure shinobi. Darui also has stylized characters for water and lightning tattooed on his right and left shoulders, respectively denoting his chakra nature's affinities, water release and lightning release, as well as the fact that he has a Kage Genkai, the storm release. The tattoo on his left arm also signifies that he has inherited the 3rd Raikage's black lightning. These 2 shinobis were the Raikage's main bodyguards. We leave for the Leaf Village at once, Raikage said, and jumped for the window, breaking the glass during the process. Another window, Mabui sighed and walked out. Let's go, Darui, said C as he prepared to jump for the broken window. This is so dull. I'll take the door and catch up with you, Darui said and walked out. Konoha next day. Jiraiya was walking through the village heading towards his intended destination. If someone watched him, they would see Jiraiya walking calmly, however inside his head, Jiraiya was taking every precaution to make sure he wasn't followed. Why was he taking precaution, you might ask? The answer is rather simple. The destination was none other than the Namikaze compound. He agreed to meet Naruto there and prepare the barrier seals to place around some buildings. After all, no one has used the Namikaze compound since Yondaime had died 14 years ago, defeating the Kyuubi, and seeing even Jiraiya at the entrance of the compound would raise far too many questions. Jiraiya arrived at the gates of the compound and rang the bell. Naruto showed up a few minutes later and unlocked the gate and added his chakra signature to the seals protecting the compound. Jiraiya entered, and when he spotted Naruto, he looked at him and shivered. What's wrong? Naruto asked, clearly confused to why would Jiraiya shiver like that when he saw him. Nothing really. Can you do me a favor and activate your Sharingan? Jiraiya said as he stared intently at Naruto. Naruto was confused by his statement but shrugged it off. He activated Sharingan and noticed that Jiraiya shivered once more. What's wrong with you? Naruto asked. You remind me too much of Madara with your hair like that, and when you activate your Sharingan it became even worse. I remember when I met him for the first time. I was only 5 years old, Jiraiya explained, and Naruto rose an eyebrow. Naruto's hair had drastically changed. His hair was still spiky, but now it was to waist length, with shoulder length bangs framing the sides of his face, covering most of his right eye. Because his hair was like Madara's, he only needed his hair black and be wearing Senju armor, and he would be like Madara himself, minus whiskers. I found jutsu that lengthened my hair. You said I should grow it out to use those jutsus you taught me. Besides, Sonata-chan likes it better this way, and I kinda like it also, Naruto said, grinning, and activated his EMS, making poor Dry feel a shiver running down his spine once again. Come inside and let's get the seals ready, Naruto said, and both walked inside. Dry felt nostalgic as he remembered being inside with Minato. He was walking with Naruto when he suddenly remembered one particular scene when he was in his living room. Flashback. It's an amazing book, Minato said as he finished reading the first book his Sensei Jiraiya released. The Tale of the Utterly Gutsy Shinobi. That's why I want to name our son Naruto. I want him to become a great embrace shinobi like your main character, Minato said. Are you serious? That name came to me while I was eating ramen, Jiraiya replied. Naruto. It's a beautiful name, Kushina said as she came in from the kitchen to join them in the living room. End of the flashback. What are you thinking about, Naruto asked as he narrowed his eyes in suspicion. Nothing, just remembering a few memories from this place, Jiraiya said as he sighed. Naruto nodded and proceeded to guide Jiraiya towards his library. The library of the Namikaze house was located in the basement and was protected by multi-layered seals to prevent any unauthorized person access. Naruto placed his hand on the seal. The seal seemed to recognize his chakra signature and blood and automatically slightly glowed before the door opened. These are seals. Naruto picked them up and showed them to Jiraiya. He placed them on the table and started analyzing them. These are some high-quality seals, as expected from the Uzumaki clan, Jiraiya said after a few minutes. Kagebunshi no Jutsu, Naruto said, and appeared 100 clones. I want each of you to replicate that barrier seal, Naruto ordered, and every clone picked up a small piece of paper and started writing the seal. Not even 5 minutes had passed, and Naruto already possessed 100 copies of the barrier seal. That is some manufacturing speed, Jiraiya said, and Naruto chuckled. After all, once Naruto learned sealing, he never once again needed to buy explosive tags or sealing scrolls since he could easily make them. Let's go, Arosani, Naruto said. Jiraiya's eye twitched. Stop calling me that, Jiraiya yelled. Naruto and Jiraiya shunshin towards the academy and arrived at the front gates. Naruto immediately picked 4 seals and placed one on each wall. They remained until Naruto channeled a bit of chakra and they disappeared into the wall. They proceeded to apply these seals in all major locations around Konoha. The academy, hospital, IT department, prison, Anbu department, and decided to place them around the shelters as well. It's done, Naruto said, after placing the last of the seals around the shelters, which civilians will be led to once the invasion begins. I'll talk to the sensei about the arrangements to activate the barriers, Jiraiya said, and left to the Hokage's office. Naruto looked at the sky and saw the sun to check the time. It was around 3 PM, so it was still early. I might as well go visit him, Naruto thought as he activated the Shunshin. Konoha's hospital. Naruto arrived at the hospital entrance. He never really liked hospitals. The feeling of death he got from it made him shiver. He entered through the main doors and calmly made his way towards the woman that was standing behind the desk. Good afternoon. Which room is Rock Lee in? Naruto politely asked. The woman raised her head to look at the person that was standing in front of her. The moment her eyes locked with him, Naruto could see the disgusted look on her face. You aren't allowed to visit him. Now leave, the woman sneered at Naruto. Naruto was getting tired of the treatment he received. The glares and names, he simply discarded them, but not allowing to do something that he had every right to do wasn't going to roll with him anymore. Naruto felt a bit of the Kyuubi's chakra enough to change his eyes and affect his voice.
Care to say that again?
Naruto asked as his voice took a deeper tone. He watched the woman wince at his tone and watched her look at him and quickly shift her eyes away. Sorry about that, sir. Rock Lee is in room 201, she quickly said, trying to get him to leave, as it was getting hard to breathe and stand for that fact. Room 201. Naruto quickly made his way towards room 201 to visit Lee. Even though it was a fight during a tournament, he still felt a little upset for causing him that much pain and damage. He walked to the room and saw him on the bed. Sitting in a chair beside him was Tenten. Hey Lee, Naruto said as he walked for the door. Both Tenten and Lee turned to face him and smiled. Yosh! My eternal rival came to pay me a visit! I promise next time I won't lose! Lee yelled, making Tenten bonk him on the head for all his yelling. I see you're feeling better. That's good, Naruto replied. He's feeling better, alright. Before I came here, I found him on the ground doing push-ups with his working arm, Tenten said, sighing, and Naruto laughed at his enthusiasm. You need to rest, Lee, otherwise you are going to miss me kicking butt at the finals, Naruto said, grinning, and Tenten simply facepalmed. But someone so strong he could still act like a kid. I will do my best to recover in time! If I can't, I shall do 1,000 laps around Konoha! Lee yelled yet again, and Tenten decided just to shrug it off. Why can't I have a normal person on my team, she said, sighing. By the way, I like your new hairstyle. It suits you, Tenten said. Thanks, I like it a lot too, Naruto replied, rubbing the back of his head. It's good you were recovering, Lee. I will see you in the finals, Naruto said, and left the room and went to train. He still had about 3 weeks left before the finals started. And that is the end of chapter 17. So, pretty good chapter in my opinion, and it kind of foreshadows what's going to come, which is the invasion. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this Naruto deals with the invasion, and also how he does in the final set of Chunin exams. But we're going to find all that out in chapter 18, which is called Let the Games Begin. So chapter 19, Let the Games Begin. Konohagakure, also known as the village hidden among the leaves, was a shinobi village among many others spread throughout the elemental nations. Normally, one wouldn't find enemy shinobi walking around the village without a care in the world, but today was a very special day. Today was the Chunin exams finals. Today, the competitors from various countries would fight against each other in Mortal Kombat to prove their worth and try to gain promotion to Chunin. The sun was slowly rising on the horizon, and a warm breeze was felt flowing throughout the village. It was still early, but the village was already booming with movement, stores were already open, and many were seen walking through the streets. After all, the Chunin exams were a very important event anywhere. The early stages weren't anything special, but the finals was another matter completely. During the finals, many nobles and a daimyo himself would watch the games. They served as an alternative to war and to prove the worth of the shinobi belonging to the certain villages. What no one expected, at least from the civilian side, was that war was much closer than they thought. The sun was coming up, slowly making its way up to the sky. A beam of light managed to get through the window and wake up our favorite blonde by hitting him straight in the eyes. The sun, millions of kilometers away, and yet deadly accuracy blinded Naruto. Naruto grunted as he tried to shift his eyes away from the sun. He looked down and saw his angel was still asleep. "Wake up, Hinata-chan," Naruto said in his sleepy voice, slowly shaking her awake. "Morning," she said, and gave him a quick kiss. Naruto made a Kagebunshi to go prepare breakfast. "Come on, we have to get up," Naruto said, and then she started pouting and mumbled 5 more minutes. What to do?" Naruto thought, and suddenly a light bulb flashed in his head, nearly blinding Kurama. "Get up, Hinata-chan, we have your cousin's ass to kick," he tried to say with a straight face. Hearing that, Hinata perked up and immediately got up. "Let's go then," she replied, and he chuckled. They went to take a quick bath separately to freshen up and to truly wake up, since Naruto tumbled his way towards the bathroom, bumping into a few things. They had a heavily caloric breakfast, since they knew that there would be plenty of action today. After all, shinobi can eat pretty much what they want and still look good due to all the training and work that they do. After breakfast, they began preparing their weapons, since they both knew that there was going to be an invasion sometime during the finals. They walked to the middle of the room until Naruto bit his thumb and sprayed blood across the wall. The reaction was instantaneous as the wall glowed for a moment until it seemed to disappear and show another room. In fact, Naruto drew a blood seal on the wall that created a space between his normal house and the Namikaze compound, since he couldn't live there full time for now. The seal was based on Hirashin and opened a portal, so to speak, that allowed anyone to cross and literally walk up to the compound. Of course, the wall was protected by a blood seal, and only Naruto and Nana could activate it, since Naruto added her chakra signature to the seal. Naruto changed his outfit slightly. Since he knew that the Saiyan was going to invade, he decided to use proper clothes. He kept the traditional orange pants, but he was wearing a sleeveless black shirt with mesh armor under it. He also had a gray chest-plated armor similar to those worn by the Anbu, and arm guards with sword shields along the wrists. On his wristbands, there were his special Hirashin kunais, standard shuriken, Fuma shurikens, and his personal favorites for crippling strikes, Senbon. What many people don't realize is that Senbon are deadlier than shuriken. It's extremely difficult to kill someone with shuriken unless it hits a critical area like the neck or head, otherwise it won't pierce enough to kill the target. However, with Senbon, one can hit one of many pressure points with them that can stun the enemy, put him to sleep, and even kill them. Of course, every weapon has its disadvantages, and Senbon are extremely difficult to learn how to use, and even more to actually hit the enemy where it was intended. "Hinata-chan, where are the poisons?" Naruto asked, and Nana replied saying that they were on a bottom cabinet in the second scroll. Nana was very proficient in making poisons. She wasn't a very good medical shinobi, and let's be honest, she sucked at antidotes because she never had any training outside of reading, but for poisons, let's just say she was a natural. And poor Naruto was her guinea pig. Since he couldn't die due to any poison that he might get injected because of Kurama, Hinata usually tested them on him. She would occasionally throw a Senbon towards an unsuspecting Naruto and watch the results. Naruto knew that his shy Hinata must have a sadistic side to her. Naruto opened the cabinet and unsealed the contents of the scroll to show 3 small vials with different colors and labels. The first vial was white and was a paralyzing poison. This particular poison will shut down the user's nervous system from the neck down, effectively paralyzing him. The second vial was a yellow and was a sleeping poison, and like the name says, it renders the user unconscious. The last and final vial was black and was the killing poison. Once infected, it would spread extremely quickly and kill the user in a matter of seconds or minutes, depending where the senbone hit the target. Naruto dipped his senbone in these multiple poisons and sealed them in different seals so he could separate them. It wouldn't be much good if Naruto killed the person he was trying to capture. Speaking of weapons, Naruto offered his sword, the Raijin no Ken, to Hinata so she could use it in conjunction for water attacks, similar to how the Nandame Hokage did, but she refused. Hinata preferred using her daggers she learned how to use during this month. Her daggers offer more fluidity in her taijutsu style, and she could channel wind or lightning chakra through them. In the end, it looked like the Raijin no Ken was going to become what it was before it was stolen, a family heirloom until anyone decided to pick up the sword. Concerning Hinata's daggers, they were somewhat special. Even though they had a few missions, both of them didn't have that much money to buy worthy daggers, so Naruto took it upon himself and forged them for her. He bought chakra metal, which is cheaper than buying already made weapons. He really outdid himself with them. The daggers were made of the best chakra metal and allowed Hinata to channel her elemental chakra through them to increase the piercing power. Their design was amazing. They were truly beautiful and deadly, just like Naruto described Hinata. Naruto also printed a couple of seals on them to increase their resistance and durability. He also included a summoning seal that allowed Hinata to summon her daggers if she ever lost them or threw them from her hands. Hinata was preparing her weapons and seals when she heard clang. She rushed to Naruto to see what happened and saw him picking up a weapon he apparently dropped on the floor. She looked at the weapon and her eyes widened. "You're taking that?" she asked, not believing her eyes as she looked at the weapon. Naruto was picking up and preparing to seal the weapon and sword seal in his body. Kurama had told him the story of that weapon and a few like those. Apparently they're created by the Rikudo Sanin himself and were many times more powerful than any other weapon. To anyone not related to the sage himself, these weapons had a massive chakra use, and so only a pure Uchiha or a Senshi would be able to use those weapons properly. "I'm up against a Bijuu. Give me a break," and point out all the stops against him, Naruto pointed out. "So am I," Hinata replied, and then she folded her arms. Naruto asked, not understanding what she meant. "You don't expect me to lose against Neji, right?" she asked. "Of course not," Naruto replied. "During the second round, we'll be facing either Fu or Yugito," she stated. "Yes, but they aren't crazy," Naruto said, waving his hand, trying to prove his point. "Let's hurry this up, or we might be late," Naruto concluded, and sealed his favorite weapon inside his seal. He wondered why his father never used it. Maybe it just wasn't style. They quickly finished packing everything they needed. Naruto placed his hand on her shoulder, and both of them flashed their tuning exams. This month, after Naruto had uncovered the invasion, he tried his best to spread his Rasen seals throughout the whole village. Now he could be virtually everywhere in the village. Konoha Stadium. They arrived just outside the Konoha Stadium and quickly made their way inside. The stadium was packed full. Among all the audience, there were daimyos, important businessmen, and shinobi from other villages who just came to watch. After all, the tuning exams is where the best games are. The Kage box was located above the audience, and they had a particular vantage point to watch the matches. They were the judges, and so needed to evaluate the contestants properly. There were two Kages currently staying in the Kage box. The Hokage was first and had two bodyguards. The first was Namiyashi Raido. His most distinct feature is probably the wheel-like scar on his face, running across the bridge of his nose and down across the left side of his face. He has brown spiky hair, dark eyes, and wears the sarin attire of the Konoha Shinobi, complete with a forehead protector and a sarin flak jacket. The other bodyguard was the self-inducted super pervert, the gallant Jiraiya. In the third chair was A, the Undaime Raikage, and his bodyguards Dari and C. "Seems like Uchiha Sasuke is missing," A commented. Yugito was the strongest genin they had in Kumo, and he was expecting she could put all of these genin to shame, primarily the Uchiha. "I heard he was training with his sensei Hatake Kakashi, so maybe he picked up his bad habit," the Saindame said, chuckling, and Ace snorted. The Hokage and Raikage were talking when they noticed the Kazekage arriving. The Kazekage was known for using his gold dust, similar to how Gaara manages to use his sand. "Greetings, Kazekage-sama. I'm glad you made it. I hope you aren't tired," the Saindame said. "Not at all, Hokage-sama. It was good they were in the Leaf this year. You aren't the young man you once were for long travels," the Kazekage said. "Don't treat me like an old man. I intend to remain Hokage for another 5 years," Hokage said, making A narrow his eyes. "Seems like you're missing the last Uchiha," Kazekage said. "Like I told Raikage-sama, his sensei is Hatake Kakashi, and he's notorious for being late," the Hokage said, and the Kazekage nodded and took his seat. He sat in the second chair, in the middle of the Hokage and Raikage. "Now, shall we begin?" the Hokage asked, and they both nodded. The Hokage got up and went to the edge of the balcony. He used a voice amplification jutsu and said, "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this year's tuning exams finals. This year we have many talented genins from Konoha, Kumo, Suna, and Taki. Now, without further delays, let's begin the matches, Okai concluded and the crowd cheered. With the crowd. They can't start the matches without Sasuke-kun, Sakura yelled. Chill out, Sakura. He still has time before his match begins, Kiba replied, and she glared at him. Did Gaara kill the Uchiha? I told him to lay low, Baki fought, looking at Gaara, who looked surprisingly calm. Quiet down, it's about to begin, Ino said, and they looked at the arena and noticed Hayate was about to speak. And quick note, there's an office note here, yes, Hayate is alive in his fanfic. I don't know how, I wish there was more depth into how he survived, but he's alive, and I'm kind of happy about that, so let's get back to the story. In the arena, Hayate was explaining the rules at the participants, and they were pretty much the same as during the preliminaries. Let's begin, Hayate said, but got interrupted by Hinata. Are we starting without Sasuke, she asked. He will have until his match show up, otherwise he'll be disqualified, Hayate explained. Any more questions, Hayate asked, and nobody said anything. Hyuga Neji and Hyuga Hinata stay, and the rest of you go to the waiting area, Hayate said, and everyone started to leave. They all left, but Naruto didn't leave without saying goodbye and kissing her cheek, much to her embarrassment. With the crowd, the rest of the Gettings all made their way to the middle of the crowd and joined with their respective senseis and teammates. Hey Haku, Zabuza, Naruto said, waving at them. It's a shame you didn't enter tuning exams, Haku, Naruto said. Yeah, my team wasn't ready yet. Maybe next time, Haku replied. She was about to say something else when Zabuza spoke before her. Hey brat, Zabuza started. You better win this. I've got money right on you, he said. Are you serious, Naruto asked? Of course, after everything I saw you do, if you lose, I'll have Haku freeze your balls, Zabuza said, and Naruto chuckled weakly while involuntarily bringing his hand to his manhood. I like the new hairstyle, Naruto, Haku said. She had to admit he looked good. He wasn't wearing any sleeves, so she could see his muscles. They weren't large or bulky, but they were of someone who trained hard, and his hairstyle was quite unique and looked good on him. Thanks, he replied, and gave her a thumbs up. Look closely, Hanabi. There's no one who received the Hyuga blood like Neji, Hiyashi said. Is he really that strong, Hanabi asked? She was the second daughter of Hiyashi and the current heir to the Hyuga clan. He's very talented, nothing like your weakling of a sister, Hiyashi said. You are in for a rude wake-up call, Hiyashi. You are about to see the real Hinata, Naruto thought as he overheard Hiyashi speaking with Hanabi. Arena. You should give up, cousin. Fate already declared me the winner, Neji said in a smug smile. Hinata turned to Hayate and said, Your name is Fate? I thought it was Hayate, she said, and everyone started laughing. Neji even glared at Hayate. What? Hayate asked. It was funny, he said. You are a weakling, cousin. Everyone knows that, Neji said, and Hinata just shook her head in disappointment. She figured since she got kicked out, Neji would at least sympathize a little bit with her. Fighters ready? Hayate called out, and they both nodded. Hajime, he said, and jumped back. You can't evade fate, cousin. During preliminaries, you resort to use ninjutsu. That only proved you are meant to be a Hyuga, he said. Then I shall defeat you using our taijutsu style, Hinata said, as she took the staring Juken stance. Knees bent with left leg slightly forward, her right arm extended with the palm facing Neji and also coiled near her waist. Neji smirked and didn't even activate the Byakugan or took any stance. He simply ran forward and closed the distance in no time. He went for a traditional Juken strike to the chest. Now wait for it to get close, and faster than lightning she deflected the strike. She crouched down and swept his legs. Flowing with the momentum, she completed her twist and gave him a strike to the chest and sent him tumbling to the ground. You should have taken this seriously, Neji, Hinata said as she activated Byakugan without the seals. Neji spat a bit of blood coming from his lips and removed the dirt and dust off his clothes as he got up. He decided to show her how it was done and activated his Byakugan and got into his stance. With the crowd. Looks like they're getting serious, Naruto said. Yeah, that was nothing but a little skirmish, Asuma said. Asuma, Kurenai said, getting his attention. You remember our bet, right? She asked. Yeah, I know, but I'm confident Shikamaru will be promoted, Asuma said, trying to convince himself. Arena. Neji quickly dashed towards Hinata and for a few strikes, Hinata dodged them all as if she were dancing. She didn't even need to block his attack, she simply shifted her weight and went with the flow. Damn it, why can't I hit her, Neji asked of himself, getting frustrated, and he was using his best moves, and she dodged them all as if there were nothing. Now it was time for Hinata to make her move. She tried a quick Juken strike to his shoulder, but Neji blocked it. Neji quickly found himself on the defensive as Hinata was pushing him back. Each strike he blocked was a close call, and if it hit him, it was game over. She seemed to be only targeting his most important chakra points. Neji decided to gain some space and backflip, but didn't expect Hinata to dash after him so fast. She went with a Juken strike to his left shoulder. I can't let her hit me, or she'll disable my left arm, Neji thought. Hinata watched him smirk and wondered what was so funny until she noticed he was starting to spin. She quickly realized what he was going to do and jumped back to avoid the attack. Kaiten! Neji yelled as he spinned in a blue dome of chakra. with the crowd. That's Hiyashi started as he watched the prodigy of the Branch family pull the best defensive move of the main house. Kaiten was the Hyuga's pride and joy. It was their absolute defense, or so they thought. Unbelievable, a Hyuga elder thought as he watched Neji pull off the Kaiten. Tosan, isn't that? Hanabi asked, but never got to finish. Kaiten, the main house absolute defense. To think he progressed so far without anyone to train him. He really is a prodigy, Hiyashi stated. The arena. Neji finished his Kaiten and smirked at Hinata. Looks like it's you who is trying to avoid his fate. Kaiten is a main house technique, Hinata said. A fairy like you will never understand, Neji said, and dashed forward and quickly closed the distance between him and Hinata. You were in my field of divination, Neji said, and got into his stance. Hake, Rokujo Yonshu. 64 palms of the hand, Neji called out, and was about to start his best offensive attack when he saw Hinata start to spin. His eyes widened at what was about to happen, but it was too late. Kaiten! Hinata yelled, and spinning she created her own blue diamond chakra, and Neji was thrown out very fast, impact with the wall. With the crowd. That's my girl, Naruto said as he cheered for Hinata. The rest of the gang and most of the joining were watching as this disavowed heiress kicked the Hyuga prodigy's ass. Hiyashi seized his teeth as he watched Hinata flawlessly perform the Kaiten. He already knew she could use it, but to that perfection, he never figured. Tosan? Nisan just used the Kaiten too, Hanabi said, as she watched the usual stoic Hiyashi show his face of anger. Hiyashi, the elder said, care to explain how your daughter can use the Kaiten, he asked. How should I know, he said, and the elder went back to his brooding like a certain Uchiha we know. Arena. Still believe I'm a failure, she asked, watching her cousin rise from the ground, removing a few pieces of rocks from him. She noticed that his breathing was starting to get labored. After all, the Kaiten did send him to the wall quite hard. I admit, you're better than I expected. In the end, it won't matter. I didn't think you could pull the Kaiten as well as you did, Neji replied as he watched her. During this whole match, he had yet to land a single strike to her, and yet she already delivered 2 strong strikes to him. He needed to end this fast, otherwise he would lose, and that he couldn't allow. Neji ran as fast as he could towards Hinata. Neji approached her and threw dust he had in his hand towards her eyes. Hinata didn't expect such a low trick and could only close her eyes. Neji smirked and took his chance to end it. Hake Rokuchon Shu! 64 palms to the hand, Neji said as he got into his stance. 2 palms, he said as he closed 2 chakra points in Hinata's network. 4 palms, 8 palms, 16 palms, 32 palms, 64 palms, Neji said, finishing the strikes as Nai was pushed back, but stood on her feet. In the stands, Hiyashi smirked in satisfaction as he watched her failure of her daughter put in her place. In the end, you were nothing more than a failure, Neji said, taking heavy breaths. He was about to talk to the proctor to give him the match when Hinata exploded in a puff of smoke. Neji's eyes widened when he saw Hinata disappearing in the smoke. Kage Bunshin? Neji asked and thought. He noticed Hinata quickly running behind him and turned just in time to receive her full attack. Hake Sanbyakuro Kuju Ishiki, 8 trigrams, 361 palms, Hinata called out and began her onslaught. 2 palms, 4 palms, 8 palms, 16 palms, 32 palms, 64 palms, 128 palms, 256 palms, 361 palms, Hinata finished, and in less than 5 seconds, she closed all the 361 chakra points in Neji's body. Neji hit the ground with a thump, completely knocked out, and he was going to stay like that for a few hours. Winner by knockout, Hyuga Hinata Hayate called out. With the crowd, Naruto whistled as he watched Hinata perform a new attack. She looked like she was dancing. It was beautiful. In less than 5 seconds, she completely shut down Neji's entire chakra network. Hiyashi's eyes were bulging out of his sockets as he watched her failure, quote-unquote, of a daughter defeat their Hyuga prodigy. Neji was supposed to be one of the best Juken users to ever grace the clan, and Nana defeated him without even breaking a sweat. The battle was completely one-sided. Neji even hit her once. Hiyashi was broken out of his thoughts when the elder spoke to him. Hiyashi, we must have that technique. Many have tried to close the whole chakra system, but they couldn't do it in a viable way. It's instrumental we get that technique, the elder said. And how do you expect me to get her to give it to us? Hiyashi asked the wise elders. We don't care. Offer the chance to rejoin the clan. Give her anything. She may look different, but she'll jump the first chance she gets to rejoin our clan. The elder spoke, smirking. Congratulations, Hinata-chan, Naruto said as he hugged her and spun around as she giggled. Thank you, Whiskers-kun, she replied and laughed like crazy at his face. Here they come, Naruto said, and Hinata got a confused face. Your father and the elders, she explained, and she turned around to see them approaching her. Anything you need, father, Hinata said in a very sweet voice that gave shivers to the poor man and made Naruto chuckle. Yes, Hinata, we would like to offer you a chance to rejoin the clan, Hiyashi said in his stoic voice. Why would I do that, she asked. I'm happy with Naruto and there's nothing you can offer me, she replied. We can offer you a painless lifestyle befitting of a Hyuga. Surely you can't live your life with that thing, Hiyashi said, and Hinata narrowed her eyes at the painless part. Call him a thing again, and I'll kill you, Hinata said, and she activated her Byakugan. Never mind, so do you accept? Hiyashi asked. How about no, she replied and laughed. Hiyashi was starting to get pissed off and now is saying something to someone who most of the time is calm and emotionless. There is nothing you can offer me. I'm happy with the life I have. Why would I join a clan of suck-up pricks, she said, and everyone laughed. Besides, you just want me because I defeated your prodigy and most likely you want my new technique, Hinata said. Enough of this, Hinata yelled and raised his fingers to form half the tiger seal. Activate, the elder said, and smirked. A few seconds passed, and Hiyashi was looking at the elder and wondering if his old age was acting up. Something wrong? Hinata asked in a very sweet voice. She removed a lavender sash from her forehead and revealed it to be sealless. The caged bird seal was nowhere to be found. I'm a free bird too, son, Hinata said. The elders, Hiyashi, and even the Hokage were shocked. They never knew that the caged bird seal was possible of being removed without killing the victim. How is that possible, Hiyashi asked. Let's just say Naruto has a way with seals, Hinata said, and once again laughed at their shocked faces. Not even Jiraiya, who was a seal master himself, knew how to remove the caged bird seal without at least permanently crippling the user. This is an outrage! We can't allow this, Hiyashi! An elder yelled. Too bad you can't do anything, Naruto said, and gathered their attention. The moment you disavowed Hinata, she became an ass of the village. You no longer have any power over her, and since she is a shinobi and technically an adult, you can't even claim her as your daughter now, Naruto said, chuckling at the angry face of Hiyashi and the elders, who seemed to be about to kill them both. Hiyashi took a step forward, but immediately regretted as he fell to the ground, barely managing to breathe with the heavy killer intent Naruto was releasing.
Be careful, Hiyashi-sama. Attacking Leaf Shinobi is a crime, primarily with so many witnesses,
Naruto said in a deeper voice, and pointing out to many people around him. Pretty much everyone was shocked that Naruto managed to remove the seal from Hinata. Demon, Hiyashi pointed out as he regained his breath and got up. Naruto was prepared to end his life as he broke the first law, but thankfully the Hokage arrived just in time to prevent anything from happening. Hiyashi, are you mental? The Hokage asked. Naruto was right. The moment you rejected your daughter, you lost any authority over her. She belongs to the village now, and it will stay like that until she chooses otherwise, the Hokage said, and Hiyashi scoffed. We shall have words later, Hiyashi said in his regained stoic face, as he turned around with the elders to their seats. That went well, Naruto said and nodded. The Hokage just sighed that Naruto only gives him headaches. As if the civilian council wasn't enough, now he had to deal with the Hyugas on his ass too. I'm getting too old for this shit, the Hokage thought as he made his way back to the Kage box. And that's the end of chapter 18. I really did like this chapter a lot. I really did. It was a very fun chapter watching Hinata fight Neji, and it's a good start to the Chunin exams in this new canon. Now, in chapter 20, we're going to probably be focusing on the other matches and also the beginning of the Naruto versus Sasuke fight in this canon. So, get ready for this as we move on to chapter 20, In Between Tales. Let's begin. The old Hokage made his way towards the Kage box and thought, that Naruto, to think he was able to remove the caged bird seal without killing the host. You would be so proud of me until he has already surpassed you in seals. Everything alright, Hokage Dono? The Raikage asked. Yes, that Naruto always gives me headaches, the Hokage said, sighing. Now that Hinata revealed that Naruto is able to remove the caged bird seal, the Hyugas will have a field day. Especially the main house, since they treat the branch house like slaves. If the branch house managed to get rid of the seal, they would surely rebel against the main house, and since they outnumber them almost 5-1, it wouldn't be pretty for the main house. In the end, Hinata got off well, and only got thrown out of the clan instead of being sent to the branch side of the family. Indeed, to be that skilled with seals at such a young age, he really honors the Uzumaki clan, the Raikage said. He'll be a major threat in the future if he continues like this. What to do, the Raikage mused and thought. The Kazekage seized his teeth and cursed the damn blonde in his thoughts. That brat is getting too dangerous. To think he managed to hold me long enough for the Anbu to arrive. Even more, his work with seals. He might be able to remove the cursed seal, and I can't allow that. I'll make sure he dies today, Orochimaru thought. You didn't even see the tip of the iceberg, Raikage, the Hokage said, making the Raikage narrow his eyes. Yes, I know it's a Kibishin Shirk, the Raikage said, much to the shock of the old Hokage. How did you know? The Hokage asked, narrowing his eyes to the Raikage and studying him. You forget I have the Nibi Jinchuriki competing, and my brother, the Hachibi Jinchuriki, is their Jonin sensei. They all met before the beginning of the tuning exams, the Raikage said, chuckling. But I wonder, how much control does he have over the beast? The Raikage said, eyeing the Hokage. Who knows? I never sensed him train with his chakra, so I wouldn't know, the Hokage replied. He's your Jinchuriki, and you don't know? The Raikage asked in disbelief. Like I told you, Naruto is very secretive and special. I know he's been training himself since he was 5 years old, the Hokage said, lightly chuckling. Did you know that when your father arranged the Hyuga kidnapping, Naruto was one that killed the kidnapper and rescued the heiress, the Hokage said, and chuckled even more when everyone stared at the Hokage thinking he was crazy. You surely must be joking. How can a 6-year-old kill a Jonin? True, he wasn't an elite Jonin, but still, a 6-year-old that didn't even enter the academy? The only thing I can think of was the Kyuubi helping, the Raikage said. I assure you I'm not joking, Raikage Dono. When I arrived at the scene, Naruto was holding Hinata and the kidnapper had a kunai in his chest, the Hokage explained, and the Raikage seethed his teeth. Then the Kyuubi is the only explanation, the Raikage said, crossing his arms. I doubt it, the Hokage said, and everyone focused on him. When I arrived at the scene, there wasn't any trace of Kyuubi's chakra being used. I didn't see the battle, but from what he told me, Naruto tricked him with a clone and finished him when he got the opportunity, the Hokage explained. Looks like you've been hiding a diamond in the rough, the Kazekage said. If he was that skilled at such a young age, why is he still getting the Kazekage asked. You all know how Jinchurikis are treated, right? The Hokage asked, and everyone nodded. Everyone seemed to be interested in the young blonde. He chose to hide his strength. He decided to take the full academy course so he could have time to train himself and be able to protect himself and anyone he cares about, the Hokage finished explaining. Deception. The true shinobi way, the Kazekage said. You know something, Raikage, the Hokage asked? What? Raikage asked. Your village tends to create some of our best couples. You kidnapped Uzumaki Kushina and she was rescued by Namikaze Minato, and they later became a couple. A few years ago, you kidnapped Hinata and Naruto rescued her. Now they are boyfriend and girlfriend and are living together, the Hokage said, laughing. Are you saying you have another Yellow Flash and Red Death in the making, the Raikage asked. Yondaime Hokage was something of a rival in terms of speed to Raikage. Yondaime was the only man to ever dodge a frontal attack from Raikage while using his famous lightning armor. Yondaime's wife and Naruto's mother was Uzumaki Kushina. In truth, she was Senju Kushina, but no one knew. Also known in the bingo book as Akanoshi, the Red Death, due to her vibrant blood-red hair. She was a very powerful kunoichi and extremely talented in Suiton Ninjutsu and Kenjutsu. I have faith in them. Every generation is supposed to surpass the previous, Hokage wisely said. I've been wondering something. Hokage Dono, wasn't Yuka Hinata supposed to be the heiress? Why did she have the caged bird seal? And why was she living with the blonde brat if she is a Hyuga, the Raikage asked. Simple enough. Hinata's father thought she was weak and disavowed her from the clan and placed a seal on her. Then she went to live in Naruto and things went on from there, Hokage explained. Weak? She just defeated the so-called Hyuga prodigy, the Kazekage said. What can I say? Naruto's a way to encourage people, and I bet he's been training with her since she was expelled, the Hokage explained. I look forward to see his match against the last Uchiha, the Raikage said. It will be an interesting match, the Hokage said. I wonder if he will reveal his Sharingan, the Hokage thought. Now, let's continue watching the matches. It looks like the second match is about to start, the Hokage said, and everyone turned to the arena. With the crowd, Fu from Taki and Nii Yukato from Kumo, please come to the arena and begin your match, Hayate called out from the arena. Good luck, Fu, Yukato, Naruto said to both of them as they made their way towards the arena. Who do you think will win, Hinata asked. Naruto brought his right hand to his chin in a thinking pose. I don't really know what they can do, so it's hard for me to say, Naruto said. If they use their partners, then Fu would win if she has enough control. Otherwise, can't really say because I don't know their individual skills, Naruto explained. Hey, Kurenai-sensei, you fought with Fu against those Oto Jonin when we went to Taki, right? Hinata asked. Yes, why do you ask? Kurenai asked. She wasn't paying particular attention to her conversation since she was watching both Jinchurikis make their way towards the middle of the arena. We were trying to find out who will win since she will fight me next. What can you tell me about Fu? Hinata asked. Kurenai thought before beginning. Well, for starters, she didn't need to use her Biju's chakra. Her taijutsu was nothing special. I put her around low Chunin level. However, ninjutsu is far better. She was primarily a water user, but she had a few secret bug techniques, Kurenai explained. Hey, Naruto said and got their attention. I remember what Kaotu said about Yugito during the first stage of the exams. He said she was good at both taijutsu and ninjutsu, so I assume around mid-shooting level on both, Naruto said. Nothing you can't handle, Naruto said, and Hinata nodded and looked to the arena. You sure have a lot of faith in her, Asuma said, and he joined a conversation since his curiosity was piqued when they began to talk. Of course I have faith in my girlfriend, Naruto said, grinning, and Asuma mumbled something about lucky blonde brats. Did you see what she did to Neji? He asked almost rhetorically. Everyone saw Neji getting his ass kicked by the supposed shy former heiress of the Hyuga clan. Yes, I saw it. Good job. It will be good to that arrogant ass, Asuma said, chuckling. So I never expected her to win, he said honestly. Don't you have faith in my teachings? Kurenai asked in a dangerous voice. Of course not, Kurenai-chan, Asuma quickly replied, waving his hands, trying to dismiss the situation before she cast a Genjutsu on him. Whipped, Naruto discreetly said, and Asuma narrowed his eyes at the blonde. What was that, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked in a very sweet voice. Nothing, Hina-chan, Naruto quickly said, and Asuma slightly laughed. Troublesome woman, Shikamaru said. Arena. Both contestants ready, Hayate asked. Hi, both replied. Hajime, Hayate said, and he jumped out of their way. He knew they were both Jinchurikis, and he didn't want to get caught in the middle of them. Shall we keep them out of the fight, Fu asked. Yugito fought for a while. Most of Yugito's techniques rely on her using her Biju's chakra. Not that she was weak without her cat, but it was the fact that she primarily trained in using her Biju. If removed, it would cripple her ninjutsu. How about we keep it to 2 tails max, Yugito asked. Sounds good, Fu replied, and took a kunai and got in her stance as Yugito pulled her sword from her back. Yugito quickly ran for him, tried a horizontal slash. Fu quickly ducked and rolled to the side. She quickly got up and tried to kick Yugito in the chest. Yugito, however, managed to completely bend the top of her body backwards almost to a 90-degree angle, avoiding the kick as it passed safely above her. With the crowd, Naruto whistled when he saw Yugito bend like that. That kind of flexibility isn't possible for humans. Even if she is a shinobi, bending at such an angle should have broken her spine.
That's Nibi's effect. Her rows have an extremely high flexibility due to the fact Nibi is a cat.
Kurama explained to Naruto. How come I have nothing useful from you? Naruto asked.
Ungrateful brat. You have high regeneration and negative emotion sensing abilities.
Kurama explained. That's good and all, but that isn't particularly effective in combat, Naruto replied.
What do you mean isn't useful? Your sensing ability coupled with your Sharingan makes it impossible for anyone to hide from you.
Kurama explained. For someone who is so smart, he sometimes could still be a knucklehead. Maybe all that pertained during academy days affected him. Never thought of that, Naruto said, and Kurama's sweat dropped. Back to the arena. Fu and Yugito exchanged punches and kicks and strikes for a few minutes. Even though the fight came tied, it seemed that Yugito clearly had the advantage in taijutsu. Her flexibility made it very difficult for Fu to hit her, even more so since Yugito was using her sword. Kumo, Ryu, Kangiri, Cloud Style, Flame Slice, Yugito said as she slashed horizontally towards Fu. Yugito's sword was imbued with fire, and as such it created fire rain around Fu, preventing her from leaving the area. Suiton, Mizurapa, water release, wild water wave, Fu said, and gathered water in her mouth. She quickly gushed the water out from her mouth and coolly put out the flames. She's a water user. She will have advantage in ninjutsu, but I seem to have an edge in taijutsu, Yugito thought, as she watched Fu perform a low-level Suiton jutsu to put out the fire. Katon, Gukyaku no Jutsu, great fireball technique, Yugito said, and unleashed a hot fireball towards Fu. Fu, noticing it was a fireball and not a fire stream, quickly jumped to the right, dodging the fireball. Yugito quickly appeared next to her and said, Kumo Ryu Omotegiri, Cloud Style, front slice. Yugito made a very fast horizontal slice, and Fu's head separated clearly from her shoulders. Yugito didn't think she would have been defeated this easily, and her suspicions were true when Fu turned into a piece of rock, showing Fu perform a Kawarimi. Suiton, Tipodama, water bullet, Fu said, and shot a couple of compressed water bullets from her mouth. Yugito turned just in time to see Fu perform his jutsu. In a show of speed, Yugito used her sword and sliced through every single bullet, taking no damage from it. The Kage box. Looks like this year's getting are talented, the Hokage commented. Very true. Usually elemental ninjutsu only train after becoming a Chunin, the Kazekage said. What did you expect from Jinchurikis? Raikage asked rhetorically before continuing. Even without using her Biju's chakra, they developed high chakra reserves, so they tend to go for ninjutsu very early, the Raikage commented. True, the Kage replied. By the way, after seeing the Hyuga's match, I firmly recommend Hyuga Hinata for Chunin. She remained calm even though her opponent was taunting her, and she displayed a high level of taijutsu, the Hokage explained. Agreed, both the Kazekage and Raikage said. With the crowd, as expected, Yugito has the advantage in taijutsu, but they seem to tie in ninjutsu. If this continues, Yugito will win, Naruto said. I have better taijutsu than Yugito, and I mainly use Soiton ninjutsu, so if Yugito wins, I have the advantage, Hinata thought. Looks like they're about to take this up a notch, Naruto said, and they turned to face the arena. The arena. Shall we bring our partners into the battle? Fu asked, and Yugito eagerly nodded. She was anxious to show everyone her true power. Bring it on, Yugito replied. Let's go, Nibi, Yugito said. Right, kitten, Nibi replied. Let's show him, Chome, Fu said. Alright, Chome replied, pumping something into the air. Not really sure if it was a wing or an arm. Everyone in the crowd watched both in amazement as red chakra seemed to envelop both contestants. The red chakra radiated from both their stomachs and swirled around them before stopping. When it stopped, both were fully enclosed in a semi-transparent red chakra cloak with two tails swirling on their backs. With the crowd. What's happening? Sakura asked. She had never seen someone being enveloped in a chakra like that. In fact, she had never even heard of red chakra for that matter, so what she was seeing was completely new. That is what's called the Jinchuriki cloak, Naruto explained. What? Sakura asked, not really understanding. Do you know what a biju is? Asuma asked. You mean like the Kyuubi? Sakura asked. Yes. There are 9 biju starting from the Ichibi and ending in the Kyuubi. People that have a biju seal inside of them are called Jinchurikis, and when they use their biju power, that's what happens. Asuma explained, pointing towards the arena. Wow, Sakura said, astonished. But, Sakura started and everyone turned to her. I thought that young Daime killed the Kyuubi, but you can't kill a biju, which means that someone in our village has the Kyuubi inside of him, Sakura said. You are smarter than you look, Naruto said, chuckling. Shut up, Naruto baka, Sakura screeched. Asuma-sensei, who is our Jinchuriki? Sakura asked, and Naruto looked at Asuma to see if he was going to reveal it to her. Everything about the Kyuubi is a secret. Only Chunins and above know about him, Asuma explained, and Naruto sighed in relief. He didn't want to have to explain everything to the crazy Banshee. Knowing her, she would probably want Naruto to release the Kyuubi and give it to Sasuke. Some secret, Naruto thought, not realizing he said it out loud. What do you mean, Naruto baka? Do you know him? Sakura asked, but it was more of a demand. Keep it down, Sakura. And yes, I do know who he is, Naruto replied. How can a baka like you know? Sakura smugly asked.
Shababijutama.
Tail beast ball.
Upper ass right there,
Kurama said, and Naruto chuckled in his mind. Can't do a Bijudama in here, but I can do Rasengan, Naruto replied. Why do you want me to tell you? Naruto asked. I want to know who he is, so he can give it to Sasuke-kun, Sakura said, and everyone stared at her. Is she crazy? Asuma asked and thought. I need to talk to Kakashi to see if he sends her to a few sessions with Inuichi, Kurenai thought. That level of obsession is going to be your downfall someday.
Damn, that is some dedicated fangirl,
Kurama said. How do you know about fangirls? Naruto asked curiously.
Let's just say I was very popular when I was a kid,
Kurama said, slightly embarrassed. Don't tell me you were chased by female kitsunes, Naruto asked incredulously.
Yeah,
Kurama replied, remembering his dark days. Looks like every race has fangirls, Naruto said, laughing. It's not a it, it's a him, Naruto explained. How would you know, baka? Sakura screeched once again. Hinata approached her and gave her a Juken strike to her throat, disabling her voice. You were too loud, Sakura, Hinata said, and Sakura tried to curse her, but no sound came from her mouth. Even though no one said anything, they were all happy that Sakura was silent for once. That Naruto seems to know a lot about bijus. He said that there were only 5 people that could open the gates, and Hinata said that 3 of them were in the tower's arena. If Fu is a Jinchuriki and can open the gates, it stands to reason that Naruto is a Kyuubi Jinchuriki. That would explain his treatment. Troublesome blonde, Shikamaru thought as he overheard the entire conversation. If you stop screaming, I'll open your Tenketsu, Hinata said, and Sakura nodded sadly. Naruto, Sakura said calmly while looking at Hinata. She nodded, and Sakura continued. How do you know that Kyuubi is a he? She asked. I've read a lot about them, and even though they aren't humans, they aren't things. For instance, Yugito has Nibi still inside of her. She's a cat. The Biju have their own personality like every other animal out there, Naruto explained, and Sakura nodded. So, Sakura began. Will you tell me who the Jinchuriki is? She asked in a very sweet voice, trying to know who he is. Why do you want to know so badly? Naruto asked. Oh, come on, Naruto. I want to know too, Ino said. Everyone started to blind, wondering if he was going to tell them who he was. The rookies were all oblivious about the Jinchuriki's identity, but among all of them, there were a few that knew. The Jonins, of course, Hinata and Shino, and the Sand Team. Are you sure you want to tell them? Hinata asked. Yes, I do. They'll find out eventually. Might as well tell them now and get this over with, Naruto said, and everyone turned to him. Fine, I'll tell you who he is, Naruto said, and everyone almost had stars in their eyes. First, I'll say that he's our classmate from the academy, Naruto said, and everyone was shocked. Naruto chuckled and continued. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko, he said, and an immediate silence followed his proclamation. Yeah, right, the dead last has the most powerful beach was still inside of him, Kibo said, and everyone snapped from their stupor and laughed. You want me to show you my version 1 cloak, Naruto asked, and they all stopped laughing. Are you serious, Kibo asked? Naruto summoned the Kyuubi's chakra and immediately went to his version cloak with 2 tails as well. His eyes were blood red with black vertical slits, his whiskers were more pronounced, and his fangs grew bigger. Around his body, the same semi-transparent blood red chakra with 2 tails swirling behind him.
Deadly,
Naruto replied, but his voice is deeper than his usual due to the Kyuubi's chakra.
Believe me now,
he asked, and they all nodded, slightly scared of his new voice and appearance. Now that you know, what are you going to do? He asked. Nothing, Kiba said. You don't think I'm a monster, Naruto asked? Naruto didn't really care what they fought. As long as he had the people that cared for him, he was happy. Of course not. I know the difference between a kunai and a scroll, Kiba said. Thanks. Maybe you should tell that to the villagers, Naruto said, sighing as he focused on the fight that was going on in the arena. The arena was almost totally destroyed from the battle between the 2 Jinchurikis. The arena was filled with water, and yet the earth was scorched from Yukito's flames. Both of them were showing symptoms of fatigue. Even though they had plenty of chakra, they didn't have the stamina to keep up. Katon, Ayoko Gaku no Jutsu, Great Blue Fireball Technique, Yukito called out and sent a huge blue fireball towards Fu. The fireball was empowered by the Nibi's chakra, giving a blue color and almost triple the power. Suiton, Daibakufu no Jutsu, Waterfall Vortex, Fu called out, and the water from the ground rose in front of her and formed a vortex of sorts. The water immediately blasted from the vortex and clashed with the fireball. The clash produced a big steam cloud that covered most of the arena. Yukito took this opportunity and channeled Nibi's chakra to her nails, increasing the length and resistance of them. As the steam cloud dispersed, she quickly dashed towards Fu. Fu didn't expect Yukito to come at her so soon and wasn't prepared for a slash of her fingernails. Fu received the full brunt of the force of the slash from both hands to her chest and right leg. She jumped back and clutched her chest. Her mesh arm managed to absorb most of the damage, but it still managed to cut her pretty deeply. Fu focused Chomi's chakra in her chest area and the wound immediately started to heal. A few seconds later, there wasn't any evidence of anything had even happened. Fu used Chomi's chakra and focused to her back. From her back emerged 2 wings and Fu started to lift off the ground and flew in the air a few meters above the ground. Fu continued to dodge multiple fireballs Yukito sent as she prepared her bugs to attack. Yukito quickly ran up the wall in the arena on all fours, much like a cat. Yukito propelled herself from the wall and tackled Fu while in the air. Yukito pinned Fu's legs and arms so she couldn't escape and stood above her as they plummeted towards the earth. Yukito focused chakra to her legs, and just as they were about to crash, Yukito jumped up, sending Fu to the ground even harder. Boom! The arena's ground shook from the impact and a cloud of dust emerged. Yukito's cloak vanished and she was breathing a bit heavily, nothing that a bit of rest wouldn't solve. The dust started to clear to show Fu completely knocked out. Hayate approached Fu and noticed she was unconscious and called the medics. Winner by knockout, ni Yukito, Hayate said, and the crowd erupted in cheers. After all, the civilians can only watch gangs fight, otherwise they wouldn't be able to keep up with the battle, and a battle like this was rare. Kage box. That's my girl, Raikage said, proud that Yukito had won. Yukito was an orphan since her parents died when the Hachibi was accidentally unleashed, so the Raikage took her in and raised her like his own daughter. They both fought very well and both seemed to have good control of their power. I recommend both for Chunin, Kazekage said. Indeed, Okai agreed, with both Kages. With the crowd. Congrats, Yukito, Naruto said, giving her a thumbs up. Thank you. It was a hard fight, Yukito replied. I sensed Takibi's chakra from down there. What were you doing, she asked. Just showing my friends my cloak, Naruto said, like it was nothing. It will take a while for them to get used to me being Jinchuriki, but I think they'll warm up to me, he said, as he looked at the smiling faces of his friends, and surprisingly enough, Sakura too. You told them you're Jinchuriki, she asked, not believing her ears. Of course. I told them during your match as I explained them your two-tailed cloak, Naruto explained. Why do you ask, he asked. Because you know very well how we are treated, and for you to publicly flaunt that you're Jinchuriki is rather strange, Yukito said. B does the same, but I have people that care about me knowing what I am. Their opinion is the only thing that matters to me. Theirs, I just shrugged them off, and if they try anything, they end up in the hospital with broken bones, Naruto said, and Yukito dumbly nodded. Nara Shikamaru and Sabaku no Tamari, please make your way towards the arena, Hayate called out. Cannon fight, so yep, this fight remains the same. Flash forward to the end of the fight. That lazy ass Ina said, face palming. What did you expect from Shikamaru, Naruto said. I guess, Ina replied, because it would be too troublesome to explain, Naruto said, grinning, and a few snickered. If Sasuke doesn't arrive, he's going to be disqualified, Naruto said. I thought I took care of Kakashi's bad habits, Naruto said out loud. Kagebox. That was anticlimactic, though, Kage said as he watched Shikamaru give up. Yes, but I displayed a very good tactical mind, as expected from a Nara, the Raikage thought. ... The Kazekage remained silent. Do you agree that he should be a Chunin, the Hokage asked, and they both nodded. The Chunin are leaders, and he displayed very good playing and remained calm, even though he probably knew he wouldn't win, the Raikage said. Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, please make your way towards the arena, Hayate called out. Looks like the Uchiha's no-show. What a shame, the Raikage said. Yes, looks like he'll be disqualified, the Hokage said, and getting ready to get up and disqualify him when the Kazekage interrupted him. Please wait, Hokage Dono. I wish to see the Uchiha fight that Uzumaki Naruto. Let's continue with the rest of the match until he arrives, the Kazekage said. You do realize that if he isn't capable of respecting appointments, then he isn't Chunin material, the Hokage said. If I understand correctly, Hatake Kakashi has the knack for arriving hours late to any appointment, and he's an elite join, the Kazekage smugly said. The Hokage knew that the Kazekage had a point, and there was nothing he could do to argue. As you wish. But if he isn't here when it's his time, then he will be disqualified, the Hokage said. Of course, the Kazekage replied. The Hokage turned to his bodyguard and he went to Hayate and explained the situation. As Uchiha Sasuke is to show up, we will proceed with the matches, Hayate said. Sabaku no Gara and Sabaku no Kankuro, please proceed to the arena, Hayate called out. Proctor, I forfeit, Kankuro yelled out from the balconies. Okay, winner by forfeit, Sabaku no Gara, Hayate said. Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, please make your way to the arena, Hayate called out. That was some time the Uchiha gained, Raikage said, chuckling. Then in the arena, the wind started gathering and leaves started spinning. Everyone watched the scene unfold. A few seconds later, Uchiha Sasuke appeared with Hatake Kakashi via Lee Shunshin. I hope we aren't late, Kakashi said while sheepishly rubbing the back of his head. You arrived just in time, Hayate said. Name, he asked. Sasuke. Uchiha Sasuke, Sasuke replied in his almighty tone. Naruto was leading the balcony towards the arena when Sakura called out. Naruto, she called, gaining his attention. Please don't hurt him too much, she said. Naruto never in a million years expected her to say something like that to him. Don't worry, I won't use the QB if that's what you are saying. I prefer using my own power, he replied, but the worried face she had didn't change. I won't kill him, relax, he said, and she had let out a breath she didn't even know she was holding. Arena. I was getting the impression you wouldn't come, Sasuke, Naruto said while approaching Free in the arena. Why wouldn't I come? I'm only fighting you, Sasuke said. I see your attitude hasn't changed, Naruto replied and turned towards Kakashi. I hope you didn't tell him about my bloodline, Naruto said, and Sasuke scowled. Don't worry, the only thing I told him is that he knows your bloodline as well as his own, Kakashi said. Ah, the wordplay, Naruto said, chuckling, and got a confused face from Sasuke. You'll know soon enough, he said, and Kakashi left the arena. Uzumaki Naruto vs Uchiha Sasuke. Ready? Hayate called out, and both nodded. Hajime! And that is the end of chapter 19. So, yeah, that was a pretty good chapter in my opinion. It did have a good, fight with Yugito and Fu. And I hopefully when we get into chapter 20, which will be in the next video, we can get into the main event, which is Sharingan versus Sharingan action with Sasuke and Naruto, which will be awesome, by the way. It will be so awesome. But in any case, thank you all for watching this Legacy fanfic reading of chapter 17 for 19. I really love this fanfic and I really love this series and you all enjoy it. I know this is slightly shorter than the last video, but trust me, I feel like the next video will be a lot longer because I made to chapter 23 because as I was recording this video, I discovered that chapter 23 was kind of the main climax of this arc and the chapter after that was the aftermath. So I feel like I should read chapters 20 for 23 instead of chapters 20 for 22, but I will make that final decision myself when the video comes out. And if I do end up doing either chapters 20 for 22 or chapters 20 for 23, after that, the part 1 Legacy movie will come out. So either way, you guys are going to get the Legacy movie. So stay tuned for that. And also stay tuned for some MHA fanfic reads. What if Naruto was half Hyuga, half Uchiha part 3, because you guys love this series too. And also stay tuned for some other stuff such as MHA fanfic reads and of course some DBZ fanfic reads and what if Goku was in Naruto. So stay tuned for those as they are being worked on and they'll come out very soon. in terms of the usual stuff, watch my community tab like a hawk. That's very important. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, MSH4, which is a great way for you guys to get notified of my videos, and I do tweet out some funny stuff over there. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, MSH4. We're getting close to 1,000 followers, and I do post memes over there, as well as some other funny stuff in between, so go follow me on Instagram. And finally, go join my Discord server, which is linked down in the description. You guys can always get notified of my videos in case you don't see Twitter and YouTube notifications aren't working. And you also get to suggest to me what if ideas or any other ideas directly. And you have the ability to interact with me directly. So if you guys will do me the favor and join my Discord server, follow me on Twitter at MASage4 and Instagram MA_sage4, go do that. Those are all linked in the description. Or you can just like follow the ads for those, you know. So yeah, just follow me again on Twitter, Instagram, and join my Discord server. And finally, turn off the video. Shout out my $10 patrons. Their names on screen. My $50 patron, Anguish, and my $30 patron, Nashu. And that's about it for this video, except one more thing. Go follow me on Twitch as I do podcast streams over there. And we have a good amount of guests over there, so go follow me on Twitch, is linked down in the description. And go subscribe to my second channel if you guys want to see a bit of a different take to what I do. On my second channel, I do more so commentary, drama content, or upload my podcast over there as well. So it's a bit of a channel that has a bit of a, you know, different style of content. But if you like that type of content, go subscribe to my second channel, which it will be linked down in the description as well. And I'm going to be more consistent when it comes to uploading that channel, and I want to promote it more. So again, go subscribe to that channel, and it'll be linked down in the description. And to end off this video, let's get to 35k. We're around 600 subs away from hitting it, so let's get to 35k. And that's about it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, share the video. This has been your boy, the Anime Sage, sign out. Peace, Yorha. Semi Shay, close us out. Bye-bye. Peace.
Hi, this is Stephanie Shea, voice actress for Sailor Moon, Hinata, Orihime, and you are watching Anime Sage.